It's such a pleasure to have you here with us for the CEO magazine. What brings you to Anthony's summit here in Monaco today?
I mean, thank you for having me, first of all. It's been a great experience so far in terms of diversity, commitment, and passion level of people that we've met here. It was, of course, a great opportunity to engage with family offices. Not just because of the fact that they've been well over time, but because they also carry a legacy in terms of wanting to make a difference with the funds that they have at their disposal, and that's what really got us very interested. And the whole idea, why I was very fascinated with Anthony Initiative is he's been, doing something exceptional by putting a lot of very strong, powerful individuals into one collective. And this is so essential in the world we're living in, and considering the world we're going into. And I felt very much connected with such an initiative because, for my part, I've also worked towards bringing together, some great minds, from Africa and the diaspora in order to build a common vision for Africa and impact sustainable change. And when you see on the other side, of the ocean or of the Mediterranean, also such a great initiative in bringing, powerful families towards looking at key societal issues and where the world is going and how they could have an impact on it and contribute to those changes, then it's a perfect combination for me where what I call brothers of light, that's really what I saw in his initiative, and it's going to be important to start making it happen, in terms of creating that unity, this oneness, to grow together, right? And that's very important, and that's why, our company Ubuntu, we chose the name Ubuntu. That means I am because we are, right? And you are defined through others, and we all interconnected. And how do we build a better world for our children? It's by combining our strength and unique skills and strong energy and commitment to make it happen.
And tell us more about Ubuntu, and also what has been your biggest achievement until this day with Ubuntu? So
Ubuntu is it's an initiative that we've launched. It's digital, gold-backed digital currency. Our real intention is to democratize access to natural resources for everyone on the planet. And we're leveraging on new technologies that are available today, where you can effectively make your natural resources a currency. Think of Africa. So it's generally perceived as a poor continent, right? But at the end of the day, Africa is rich, and it's even wealthy, right, in natural resources in particular. So the whole idea was to say, instead of just selling the natural resources and get paper in return, why don't we make those natural resources a currency, right? So that wealth can be built from the ground up, literally, right? And somehow, Africa is the cradle of mankind, and we see that as a gift from Africa to the world, in order to allow, a more transparent and fluid world where money and funds can circulate freely. Remember, 70% of the people on the continent, which is 800 million people, don't have access to a bank account. Yet they have purchasing power, but they're cut out of the global economy. But one thing is that gold is that particular metal that is accepted everywhere in the world. So why don't we make it a digital currency? And what we do, we offer the opportunity for investors and those family offices and particular and small holders to pre-invest, pre-finance gold extraction on a fair trade model, but in exchange they get gold at a discount. And with those financing, then we build schools, hospitals, etc. in those artisanal mining areas. And then the profit of the sale of the gold, the fair trade gold extracted, is shared between the investors community. Whether you're a family office or the middle income person or the man in the street or the villager. Why? Because you can do it from your mobile phone, right? We provide access. We share the profit of this gold with the community, or the members of the community can just decide to purchase that gold that has been extracted at a discount and use it as stored value. right? So we're providing a level playing field for every human on the planet as long as they have a mobile phone, and we make gold accessible for as low as $5, which is 0.1 gram roughly, right?
And what has been your two biggest key success factors with Ubuntu until now?
It was sticking to the philosophy itself. I am because we are. So it started by building a team, right, of people who share the same passion, right? I think the team combined, with less than 10 people, founding members from the 4 continents. First of all, we've combined 50+ year experience in blockchain, more than 70+ year experience in IT and tech, more than a century experience in media, who really believe that you can, by democratizing access to natural resources, you can change the world. And this philosophy and this belief is shared by so many people, because we understand that people think of scarcity while Mother Earth has always provided everything we need. So if we can change from fear to love and go back into tokenizing what the planet have to offer, then we can change this world. So that was the first thing. Always remember, I am because we are, we all connected. The second important thing was the product itself, the way we've designed it. Whomever owns Ubuntu coin is a shareholder of the company. So from the small holder who bought a $5 token to the family office manager who bought $100 million pre-financing, they all own the company. It means that you create the Ubuntu model by sticking to it once again, where whomever owns it, it's a community owned. And therefore it grows organically. Why? Because as you own, you want others to own. It's no longer I keep it for myself, because as others own it, the share price, which is backed by the token, rises. So that's how we address the issue of some of the limitation of capitalism. Because I am, we all are. And as I grow, as I win, you win, we all win. So those are the real key success factors from an adoption point of view. And we leverage on a whole social media platform too to drive adoption. Because at the end of the day, it's still complicated for people to think crypto key and, it's not a natural fit. Think of internet. Did you know about internet packets and IP address? No. What you would do is just type www and then you get the website. So what we do, we launch a social media platform that's called Tribe One. Whenever you create your profile, you have an embedded mobile wallet and some crypto available. And now you can bring people in and pay them as you wish. Create your own community. And guess what? You own your data. And that's a major difference. And you can monetize your data. So advertising revenue come directly to the users and not data that belongs to, you know what I mean. I'm not going to go too much in detail. And that's what also makes it viral. The community owns the social media platform too. So it's based on shared ownership that drives impact. And the transaction fees that are done is 1.618%. But guess what? 10% of the transaction fees go back to impact initiatives that the community chooses. So here, for instance, let's say South of France, if there are issues with environment, etc., the volume of transactions that have been happening here get decided to be allocated by the community here as to what they want to make a difference in. Right.
And moving forward, what is the vision of Ubuntu Coin for the next 2 to 3 years?
The vision of Ubuntu Coin for the next 2 to 3 years is reach as many people as possible. And we want to start with what we call the believers, right? The people who first have understood, that's why we're here, because a lot of people here have understood how the world works. They've understood also what challenges we're facing and what can happen if we don't do anything about it. And those for us are what we call the founders, the co-founders of the Ubuntu economy. That's why family offices and high net worth individuals are so important, because they'll put the ignition. And then we want to drive adoption and get as many people as possible. We think within 2-3 years we can get 100 million people on our social media platform and get this community rising, right? And start exchanging without limitations. Remember, when you say currency, it comes from current, energy, right? And at the end of the day, energy has to flow. And once you create that community, then people have the freedom and the safety as they own their own data to transact and to grow. And they have a reward system. So whenever a referral, whenever they bring more people, they make a percentage out of whatever the other people that they've brought would invest. So it naturally grows. And whomever comes in as a newcomer, 10% of the investment get redistributed within the community. And that is what I believe what Ubuntu stands for. And that's why it was so important to go back to the very values of humanity. I am because we are. The fact that we're all interconnected, and build a new model, a new Ubuntu economy that reflects that. Because sometimes we tend to forget that we came with so much and we've lost a lot along the way by being scared of losing. And if you now create this new system where currency flow, where people are empowered through a currency that is backed by real asset. Gold has been valuable across all human civilization, across all geographies, across all times, right? That's why kings have gold crowns. That's why when people get married, they have gold rings. It is that very metal. So if you want to lift people out of poverty, give them an asset back in their hand. And we start with Africa, because also a lot of things started there. And we think Africa has a big role to play. There's a reason why China is rushing there. There's a reason why there's so much interest today. Now, as an African, I also have a responsibility to the planet, right? And I've been lucky and privileged to, my parents were migrants, like many of those people you've seen on boats, And luckily for me, when I joined my parents back out of Cameroon, I was born in Cameroon, my dad arrived here, and I went to school. And, the principal one day spotted me and sent me to that school in Paris, Louis Le Grand, which it was a big change for me. And I understood that I'd been extremely lucky, right? And I needed to give back. And for me, I'm part of both worlds. And we can really create that bridge that get both worlds to get uplifted.
Don't you think you manifested your luck?
I've always known, funny enough, since I could speak, that I had a mission. And that mission was for me to change the world. It's hard to explain. It's just, there is maybe that manifestation by always knowing it, you kind of create your luck. And I've always understood also that I won't be able to do it alone. And that's why I'm here. Because it's going to take a lot of enlightened people who really believe in change to make that quantum leap to a new golden age.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time and your ears and your eyes too. So I look forward to working more with you. I'm certainly going to come to the next one, and I can't wait to see the video.